And until that can change, I think Turkey's going to have a very hard time going forward in a genuine way.
And Turkey is aching to join the European Union, and they're not getting it.
No, I think so. I think that's a very dramatic case in point, that the aspiration toward the European Union forces Turkey to confront another model of society, a model in which dissent is rewarded, critique is the norm. The educational system is continually criticizing the state, the government, institutions. And so as the Turkish model looks at the European model, there's a kind of collision of values and beliefs. And the Armenian genocide issue becomes sort of a case in point. It's almost become a litmus test now that it's become such an international scandal. I think Turkey's denial is an utter scandal, and it's disgraceful for Turkey to continue to pursue this. Other nation states, I think are really frustrated, angry, annoyed, repelled by the Turkish kind of stance here. But until Turkey can figure out a way to, I think, open up to a more democratic model, I don't see how Europe will be able to make any kind of genuine embrace of Turkey. There are other issues here at stake as well between Turkey and the EU, but I do think this issue of open democracy and honest confrontation with the past, which all connect to human rights and minority rights issues in the end. In my view, the denial of the Armenian genocide is a human rights issue. It's a continuation, actually, of the genocidal mindset and persecution.
Peter Balakian, does the Armenian-American community have any programs or projects underway to lobby for America's formal recognition of the genocide?
Well, I think there's been a lot of I don't like to use the word lobby because it sounds almost overly programmatic. I think there's been a lot of cultural energy in the U.S. Directed toward producing scholarship and recognition and understanding about a very important event, the Armenian Genocide. And I think that this scholarly work and intellectual work and artistic work has allowed a broader mainstream sector of American life to get a strong feeling that the Armenian Genocide is really an important universal issue, that it was the template for all genocide to follow, that it's something we need to understand. Obviously, the Armenian-American community has been politically engaged in introducing or helping to support and introduce an official resolution that it hopes Congress will pass. The Armenian-American community is certainly hoping that President Obama will make good on his commitment to acknowledge the events of 1915 properly as genocide. And we'll see what happens in 2 days. So the Armenian-American community is a forceful cultural world, and I think it's shown a lot of progress in the last couple of decades in taking the meaning of this history to a wider, more mainstream world where it belongs. It's not just an Armenian history, it's a universal international history.
Yeah, and there are many, I presume, Armenians in various European countries, just as they've settled here in America too. Yes?
The U.S. Armenian population is about 1 million, and I think the largest Armenian population in Europe is in France. I think it's a population of about 600,000. So the French Armenian community is the largest in Europe, and Various smaller communities of Armenians live throughout Europe, but the French community is really the center of it.
Uh-huh. And is there any overt support from the EU toward calling the genocide what it was?
Well, I think the EU has engaged this issue in various ways over the course of the past decade or so. At times the issue has been a must for Turkey. At other times it's been, well, we won't make it a requirement, but, and the but is, I think, the unspoken, suggestion to Turkey is that if you can't deal with this history properly, it's really going to be hard to accept you as a progressive and democratic society.
Mm-hmm. Did you happen to hear the caller preceding the middle station break? Were you on the phone at that time?
No.
You were not. There were two women who made a very strong case for replacing. And I'm asking you this because you were the first director of Colgate's Center for Ethics and World Societies. They were making a very strong case for dumping our capitalist corporate system and replacing it with, they didn't say the word, but what else is there but socialism as a possible replacement, which really is capitalism conducted by the government, I guess. You still have to put capital into factories and other means of production to keep the economy going. Do you have any thoughts on that? It's coming up a lot here lately.
Well, that takes us into a whole other zone of inquiry, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I think that many healthy societies in the world are interesting combinations of free enterprise and thriving open marketplaces with dimensions of government initiated sectors, healthcare being, of course, a major one. Government's inclusion in the working of a society properly seems to me essential, and we certainly have to figure out the right recipe here, the right balance between the free marketplace and the government's needed direction, especially in a time like this.
Professor Peter Balakian, thank you very much for staying up with us. You're on the West Coast, where it's a little bit later than it is here. And our figurative condolences to the Armenian communities all over the world.
Thank you.
And we'll remind the public of it again in 12 months. And folks, I suggest you Google Peter Balakian, Balakian, and you'll discover a very interesting, important cog in American literature, prose and
poetry. I'll make one last pitch for Armenian Golgotha. It is an extraordinary. It's the one great memoir of the Armenian Genocide. It's the Primo Levi and Elie Wiesel of this event, and readers will find it an astounding and important book.
And it's in bookstores plus Amazon, I presume.
That's right.
Okay.
Just published. Thanks so much.
That's great. Thank you, Peter.
Okay.
Good night.
Good